Welcome to Freed on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business.
Hey everybody, welcome to Freed on Business. We're South Florida's longest running business talk show. Been on since 2008. We want to thank our longtime sponsors, Warren Henry, for being with us on the show. And as you can see today, it's a beautiful, cloudless day. It's warm. It's tremendous. Everybody from New York, come on down. All right. We've got my friend up at Connecticut, Andre Senni, the tech maven, and we are also on with Saul Klein, broker emeritus. We're going to talk about the impact of data on your career. Stick with us. We got more tremendous info for you right after I sell some cars. Reagan, take it. As I just mentioned, we're South Florida's longest running business talk show, been on since 2008. Lots more episodes. I think this is episode 602. So you think we're committed to this? I think you know we are. Hey, everybody, you know who else is committed? Our good friends and sponsors at Warren Henry. They've been with us since July of 2012. And we'll be up there later on this week shooting a video with Larry and May, the two people I always love to talk about. When you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. They're all exceptional cars, and they all come with the Warren Henry advantage. What's the advantage? Well, they're all great cars. The advantage is this whole suite of services: complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, and the 72-hour exchange. You can take 3 days to make sure you love your new car. You will. Don't forget, they've got a great store up in Gainesville that sells Audis. Down in the Keys, they've got a store that sells everything. If you're looking for a Jeep, that's the place to go. Remember, join a lot of my friends, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian, and of course, me. I've been a client of theirs for decades. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry. Everybody, and choose to give me a call. It happened just this week, right off of one of my LinkedIn posts. I got a call from a family office. They're looking to expand their assets, and they asked me if I could help. The answer was, of course. Everybody knows my brand is that I self-actualize by helping other people achieve their goals. So give me a call at 305-773-6300. I got a big developer, big guy. Yeah, one of his buildings is right there. He's working with me to do a loan right now on his home. So if you need a jumbo loan, they're not easy to do either. Give me a call, 305-773-6300. Also had a client send me their big penthouse buyer. They're from overseas. I can help them get financed too. 305-773-6300. Olivia's driving my phone crazy right now. Why call me? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, Olivia Ramos, pinky swears that she'll be on the next time. She says that this topic deserves 2 different segments, so I guess, Saul, you're committed for next month too. Sorry. But she pinky swear promises that she'll be back. It says it right here. So, Saul, you're the star for the show. Olivia says you can carry the day. So the pressure's on. We're back here today. The world is in the midst of the greatest social and economic technological explosion that's ever been experienced. Yep. The question is, most of us ask, do we want to be part of it? That statement's only 20 years old, Saul. It's happening again. What's going on out there, Andreas? Set the table.
Well, here we are. It's 2021.
It's still applicable. Still.
I will pass it to Saul. He's been talking about this a long time. Go ahead.
Well, the changes are happening. We're seeing it every day in residential real estate. We see it in commercial real estate as well. People are learning how to use the data to their advantage. They're learning how to sort through it. They're learning how to bring artificial intelligence into it. And that's why it's great to have Olivia here, because that's exactly what her company does. And so people are now figuring out that there are things that they could do with the data that they never.
Yes, Saul, you're freezing up. You may want to dial in again. Just maybe refresh the thing or something. Saul, you're pixelating. Saul's pixelating while he redoes that. Let me talk a little bit about what happened to me the other day that was responsible for AI. I called in, I asked for customer service, I said a dirty word, and the AI recognized it and said, "Oh, we're so sorry you're upset," and immediately sent me to a person instead of the 45 minutes I waited without saying the dirty word. So I learned something new about dirty words and artificial intelligence.
Well, you got to find a way, right? And that's what we're all doing, finding a way today.
Well, what I've seen is that each person's different. And I guess that just now taught me that each AI system is different too. Boy, I wish Olivia were here for that.
Well, you have to teach it, right? It's just like anything else. You've got to
this one learned. This one learned. I said it twice. It certainly understood it the second time. Now, Andreas, you get a lot of people on your site that manipulate and coordinate and make decisions with data. How does CRECo.ai help people organize and evaluate and make decisions with their data? Because data is just destroying everybody's ability to think right now. There's just so much data.
Well, to quote you, Jim, it's all about data arbitrage and giving people a simple, single place to access everything they need to make decisions. And you may not even know what you need. You don't know what you don't know until you see it. So we present it to you at your point of need as you're looking at properties based on what you have or what you may want.
It's really interesting. What I do is more person oriented. And so I do my data analysis just by scrolling through the people I know. I take my daily post and the people that I want to talk to in the next few days, I just hit them with the text. And then they tell me what they're working on. But I get these sources of data that are supposed to tell me what's going on in the market, and I ignore them because they're just all consuming. And if you don't pick the right one, you go down a rabbit hole. Saul, how do I know what to look at?
Yeah, that's a tough one. You have to decide for yourself, and you know how to do this, Jim. You are inundated with information, so you basically have to categorize the things that are important to you, and then it takes self-discipline to stay away from, what Sinan Aral calls the hype machine, right? All of the hype that gets generated and all of the data around it. There's more data generated than any of us can consume. So, right, a great trick is being able to consume the appropriate data for you. And that's knowing the things that are important to you. And what I do is I categorize things.
High five. I use Google Enterprise. And what it does is it parses it into three different categories. Stuff I use all the time, stuff I almost never use, and stuff that's trash. And when I want to clear and make sure, I go to all mail, but I can pound the spams real quickly. I don't even take time to unsign and take myself off the list because it takes too long. I just dump them. And I try to stay above that fray by going out in a different channel personally. I send my contacts texts. And I probably do about 100 texts a day now. And they're not automated. They're all thoughtfully crafted for each one, and they generate business.
So, so communication data, right? And we're just flooded with communication data.
Yes.
And I'm sick of it in many cases, right? I don't even want to see it. And even stuff from my friends that I get on a regular basis, and I want to help them in social media. But if I see it too much, I just want to turn it off, right? So we all have our own limitations and limits on that. But in another type of data around, and again, Olivia would be great to talk to. She's always fun to talk to about this, is the data around real estate. Okay. And then another data, and this is relevant, is data around, and this is relevant to real estate, data around stock purchases. Data around stock purchases. So you're familiar with the latest with GameStop and how supposedly manipulation through Reddit drove
coordinated manipulation of the stock market based on people who thought that they had similar goals.
Well, then what came to light is I often wonder how TD Ameritrade can let me trade for free. I trade daily. I trade, doesn't cost, and I used to be a securities broker, and I used to charge people to trade.
Yeah, because of the back fee that they don't disclose to you.
So I trade, and I don't really care. I do well trading, and I enjoy trading, and trading with no ticket charge or anything is great. But this GameStop brought this up, the data about the trades, and this is data, yes. Knowing in what they call a spot market, in an immediate marketplace of buyers and sellers. What's buying? Who's buying? When are they buying? How are they buying? How much are they buying? Doesn't mean anything to me. I'm going to buy whatever I buy and sell. But the people who can gather that data in mass, can utilize artificial intelligence, have created algorithms. They might be able to determine, and just an edge, to know what stock might go up or what stock might go down. And so it makes sense now that I can trade.
That kind of data can help me identify when the market's being artificially manipulated and when the tide's going to turn, and I can pick my spot and get in and out before it happens. So but I don't have time to focus on that. That's an all-day thing.
So the point is that the hedge funds, there are companies now that get that data, that buy that data from a company like Robinhood. And with that data, not you and me, we trade it. That data doesn't matter to us.
It does if we knew it.
Well, it might. I don't care. I'm still buying the stock I'm buying or selling the stock I'm buying. And if it gives the hedge fund an up leg, well, people don't usually worry about it that far upstream. But what it brought to light was use of the data in ways that we hadn't thought about. Are there ways to use data around real estate in ways that we haven't thought about? And again, that's the kind of thing that Olivia does, where you look at things you haven't looked at before.
I think that there's a lot of data out there that could be useful to real estate, that could be delivered. It could be as simple as following the people that buy Chewy in a certain building to determine whether it's got enough pet space or not. I can't believe I just said that. Oh my God, I need a life.
Might be relevant.
Might be to some people. Sure. You might say that there's a big percentage of people that have larger pets in a certain area because they buy a bunch of Chewy. So that place needs more of a dog wash than maybe a place that's in Arizona that doesn't have a lot of dogs. I'm making it up. I don't know.
Yeah. So the data is helping customize the experience or customize the result.
There you go.
Right.
Makes it, oh my God. It's also part of the problem because it keeps everybody in their information silos, Saul. Don't want to go there. Don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Just got one of my friends back from January 6th. I'm not going to talk about that again.
Yeah.
But if somebody I do want to talk about that, Saul. I do want to talk about that. I want to talk about how information can be seen by different people or not seen and really manipulate them. And that's something else that could be done downstream on real estate. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk about people that are manipulating the data in real estate, and maybe they're not doing it for the benefit of all. We'll be back after this. Ooh. This is Jim Frieden. We're having a tremendous podcast with some tremendous thought leaders. I love you, Saul Klein. I wish Olivia were here, but she'll be here next time, and we'll bring Saul back because this is a discussion that you can't just do in one show. Thank you, Andres, for always putting together this great stuff. Remember, we're South Florida's longest running business talk show, and we want to thank our key sponsor, Warren Henry, who's been with us since July 2012. I think we sell a couple of cars for them. And remember, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar here at their new gorgeous store with the jewel boxes of cars outside on 151st and Biscayne. And they've got their great store up in Gainesville on Main Street that sells Audis. And they've got their store down in Key West at Main and Main down there that sells all the cars, including the Jeeps. I'm going to go down there and get my Jeep for the farm from them down there. What do they all have in common? Well, they all have great cars. You're all part of the Warren Henry family. I added that one in this time because that's really important to me. And you get the whole suite of services that they have. Complimentary service loaner, that's really important. Dynamic wheel protection, you hate those scraped up wheels. Key replacement costs you $100 somewhere else. They just replaced mine for free. Guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, and the 72-hour exchange. I'll give you 3 days to decide whether you like your car. So join I got a lot of friends that have Warren Henry cars. Me, my wife, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. And I'm sure they use dynamic information analysis to help them figure out what you want. So join me. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry.
This is Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
And I think it's really important here to mention what a great job Becca and her team does for not only me, but a lot of my clients too. They're based in Chicago. I've never physically met Becca, but she is tremendous and really indicative of how the new economy is working and how we can collaborate across all this distance. I hope that they warm up and thaw out in Chicago. High five to Rebecca Carlson. And by the way, if I can help you with a real estate deal, give me a call. I just got a referral from one of the families that listens to the show all the time. I'm going to be meeting with them next week. I've got another deal that I'm working on that came off the show. It's a tremendous high-rise development opportunity on the beach, upstate, in a place I've never been. I'm going to go there next week. I can't wait. It looks tremendous. Who's going to do these loans with me? My friends in New York that I do business with. So give me a call at 305-773-6300. Let me bring out-of-town capital to you that's creative, or some of the best local entrepreneurs that have cash too. I will match you up with the best capital. It's not always the same person. Call me at 305-773-6300. Why? Because when you call me, you got it. It's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're on with Saul Klein, broker emeritus and technological whiz in the real estate business, as well as Andre Senni, who runs CRECo.ai, which is a great site that gives me all kinds of ability to do real estate deals. Welcome back, guys. Now, Saul, we were talking about data being overrun by data, having data obscure your ability to really make good decisions. Then we talked a little bit about how data could be manipulated and put out there perhaps incorrectly. We've seen how that's impacted the United States in general and Washington, D.C. in particular. Saul, what can we do to verify that the data we're using is accurate and that the source is good?
So you have to know the source yourself. And my own personal philosophy today is I really can't tell what's true. Depends on the subject, depends upon the emotion in which it is sent to me, depends on whether or not when I read the first word, it makes my heart jump into my throat or not, right? So when I look at certain pieces of information, if it makes me get excited or makes me feel anxious in any way, I know it's probably created for that intent, and I ignore it. And there's so many ways today that they can create, that things can be created. And we hear the term fake news, and there absolutely is things, and there are great cases of people going to war over it. Crimea, a great book on this is called The Hype Machine. I highly recommend it by Sinan Aral, The Hype Machine. And it talks about the fact that social media, that aspect of data and data collection, can actually change the biology of your brain.
No doubt about it.
So we really need to pay we really need to pay attention to it. But I agree with you, John. I try to stay out of the silos. I'm professionally, I have my own opinions. I feel a certain way about things. And at the same time, I know that other people, for whatever reasons, might feel the way that they do. And so from a professional perspective, I try to keep certain things out of discussion. When I was at in the Navy, we had this rule in the wardroom, and it worked very well. You had people from all over the world, right? And it was, you don't talk about politics, you don't talk about sex, and you don't talk about religion. And you can go into battle and be the best of friends, right? If you don't talk about certain things. And so when I see certain realtors today and people in real estate saying things, sometimes I think to myself, I cringe, because I think they're hurting their business. Now they'll come back and say, well, I have a right to I have freedom of speech. And I say, it's not about that. It's about being sensitive to people's feelings. It's about being in business. And so that piece, we didn't want to go there, but that's that piece.
Saul, I think it's very important that we go there. Okay. I think it's very important that we go there, because I think a lot of people are having the same issue since January 6th. And I think that it's important to talk about how to handle it. And I dealt with it yesterday. And basically, you're exactly right. You have to call the person. You have to discuss with them the fact that you care about them, that you love them, that you think that everybody is entitled to think whatever they want to think, and that everybody should get the best information they can and make their own decisions, and that you care about them as a person and that they're entitled to do that. Andreas, what do you think?
I think what a lot of people don't realize is the internet is forever. You make these statements, and as a business, your business would never have made that statement, but you are your business today, digitally, online.
Said.
So if you wouldn't say that as a business, maybe you shouldn't say it as a person online, because you are going to eliminate or at least cause friction with potential people. And as Saul said, let's go to war together. Let's go get things done. Let's just kind of avoid the rest. You want to come over, you want to have dinner, socially distant when applicable, let's do that. But otherwise, like Saul, I'm very careful about what I post and how I post. And I've even said to friends, untag me. We're not going to go down this road.
Well, and so now stuff, you have to be careful. So stuff that I've taught for years that's still applicable gets perceived in a different way. For years, I've taught that taxes and tax laws affect real estate ownership. For years, I've taught regulations affect real estate ownership. And when we had major tax law changes in 81 and 84, and I taught that to realtors, because that's what a professional should know. And they should know that there are certain tax benefits and there are certain tax penalties, and you have to understand as part of your business. So today, though, and I've had this happen to me in forums where I say, okay, if you're going to get ready for the future, you have to get ready for increase in taxes, and you have to get ready for more regulation. Now, people then accuse me of being political. Right?
Yeah.
So
that's your audience.
What you're doing is you're observing the trends in the past, understanding what's going on in our economy. And I don't want to talk politics, but the reality is that everybody just needs to realize that government policy changes over time, and that's going to affect your business. And it's absolutely 100% okay to lobby. Best example of that is Julio Gonzalez from Engineer Tech Services, who's been on the show regularly, when he was a sponsor. Julio goes up and basically wrote the tax code for the Trump administration.
Use the tax, use it for, so I tell people, use it for your for your benefit. So whatever is happening macro around you, use it to your benefit. Use the tax laws to your benefit. And so one of the things I know is going to happen, government's now going to spend a lot of money. The government doesn't know what $1 trillion is. That's a lot of money. They're going to start spending a lot of money. Now, it doesn't matter to me what you feel about it, no judgment about it. I can tell you this, when the government spends a lot of money, it creates a lot of opportunity. And so if you're in the real estate business, you're going to see that there's opportunity offered in maybe areas where you can invest money or have clients that want to invest money because there's federal block grant financing available or because there are other programs available for revitalization. And so just know that. And if you're a professional, you look for the things that are going to happen. You don't condemn right? That's not your business. You're in the real estate business.
Yeah, I'm actually going into the hemp business, and one of the reasons I'm doing it is because I've watched the information. This is the first year that it's legal to grow hemp in Florida. I've identified who the premium grower for hemp is going to be. I've identified who the godfather of these business operations operationally are, and I've identified the professor at the University of Miami that's going to give us the edge on everybody else. And oh, by the way, it'll be organic. So look at all the boxes I checked because I looked at the information and saw that people were going into this and it was time to do it the right way. And yeah, I got my insight into this because I know somebody who's helping to set the regulations, but I don't play on that. I'm only acting on information that's openly known to everybody. And I saw it coming. I've been working on it for years and now it's ready to go. Saul, isn't that what you're just talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also a way to specialize because we need a differentiator. The laws around the growing of hemp are so complex that you really need a professional to help you through it. So people that are looking for opportunities, that's another one of those areas where there's opportunity because there's going to be regulation. Yes,
and I have a friend in Tennessee who already wants to be our, grow for us in Tennessee, and it's going to be completely different. We'll do another show on him. Actually, the show's next week.
So
we're green on green. So I have to exercise Saul's favorite term here, self-discipline, and control myself on next week's topic.
So it's zoning, right? So how do you apply the zoning to allow this particular use to real estate? And most real estate agents don't know. And so that those that do now have a product that they can offer and expertise that they can offer other people can't offer. So I applaud the fact that you're doing that. You found a niche where there definitely is a need to help people understand the regulation. Back to the fact that more regulation is going to affect real estate. You find the opportunity there to make it work for you.
Correct. Boy, I couldn't have done a better analysis. Andres, you haven't said a word this whole segment, so you're up.
Oh, well, opportunity is ever present today. It's just a matter of where and when and how, and being at the front and saying, I can do that or I can adjust. And that comes back to data arbitrage and all the data being available, verifying, validating what you're knowing, what you're learning, what you know and what you can learn, and then applying it. You did a shift to residential loans because you saw a value there. You knew it because the data was there, and then the tools were there. Putting together a toolbox that represents yourself to allow you to do more business is what it's all about. That's what Olivia's platform does. It's what we do.
Yeah, but you see, I think that there's a little nuance and parsing of words that needs to be done here. I always said I was in the information arbitrage business, not the data arbitrage business. And what I want to talk about in the next segment is the difference between data, which chokes you, and information, which you get from the data, which helps you succeed. Oh, I'm the man. Regan, rock. Everybody, by now, you're watching Freedom Business. We've been on since 2008. We've done 600. This is our 602nd show. Thank you for all of my support. And we're South Florida's longest running business talk show. I want to thank Warren Henry Automotive. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Warren. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you, Samantha. There's two of them. for all that you do for us. Warren Henry's been our sponsor since July 2012. And we love being part of the Warren Henry family, and that longevity indicates how much they care. Remember, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar down here at their new store at 151st and Biscayne, up in Gainesville on Main Street. They sell Audis down in the Keys. They've got all their great cars. That's where I'm going to get my Hemp Farm Jeep. Oh, I'm going to love that car. It's going to be so hot. What do they all have in common? Well, they're all great cars. They all come with the Warren Henry advantage. That means you get a complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee. I like to go fast so I get to the end of this because the best one is at the end. You get a 72-hour exchange. You take 3 days to decide whether you like your car or not. No one ever changes. They love their car. It's awesome values. That's why I've owned one since 1990. 32 years. Wow. Remember, join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian, lots of my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. I love that part where I go, you should be too. Always the best service, always the best price, always Warren Henry. How to do it again.
Hey, Jim, speaking of Warren Henry and automobiles and cars, that helps us see data and understand data. Because in real estate, we can look to automobiles as kind of an example. And think about a car, if it could sense every mile it got driven, when the oil got changed.
Hold on. We're not in the next segment yet, Saul. Oh. Hold on to that. That's great stuff. I love you, man. I love you. Reagan, you're back. Hi, I'm Jim Freed, and I'm here to help. I help family offices and big families deploy their capital and recapitalize their real estate deals so that they're efficient. I help foreign investors and U.S. investors that need big jumbo loans that aren't easy to get. I help them get those. I help, yesterday was the best. A friend of mine called me. He needed somebody to work. I said, is this a job or a career opportunity? I said, did the other guy you hire, is he a millionaire yet? He said, he's on his way. I said, then I have the guy. And I sent one of the young people that I mentor to him. Hopefully he'll hook up and they'll do really great. So, that's my personal brand. I self-actualize by helping other people achieve their dreams and goals. So call me. Let's talk about it. Maybe I can help you get to the next place you want to go. 305-773-630. Hit me up any way you want, Jim at Freed on Business. And remember, when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, while we were in the break, Saul interrupted and talked about all the great information that people can get from cars. So, Saul, before I go back to you, let me tell you how I deal with that. Every month, I get a request on my car's little video thing, and it says, would you like to share data? Guess what I say? I check no. So it's already out there. When the insurance company sent me the little plug-in, I didn't use it. Now, guess what? They're using your phone. This is where they say read between the lines on keeping your information private. So, Saul, there's about to be an incredible treasure trove, if it hasn't already been dropped, to be dropped about car data. Tell me more.
Well, so we every day you think about it, cars they can sense every place they've been. Everything is tied together.
Saul, you got to start again because you froze up again.
Just knowing that could be very valuable. The car dealer could real time. The insurance companies would like to know how many miles you're driving, where you're driving.
How fast I'm driving.
How fast you're driving. The city might want to
They kind of know. They don't care in our district. The cops don't stop you anymore.
So you're right. Privacy, transparency, they're all things that we need to be discussing around here.
Okay, Reagan, how come we're freezing up everywhere?
Bad connection.
Okay. All right, well, I'm okay.
Well, the things you need to know and want to know, and I'll jump in for Saul here. The car delivers to consumers, people who want that data. Are you coming from home? Are you stopping in between? What is your routine? Things you don't even realize.
Oh, no, I realize it.
Well,
listen, hold it. So I go to my mom's every Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
After I'm done at my mom's, I get my car washed.
Okay.
When I left my mom's last Saturday, my phone told me 5 minutes to the car wash. Didn't ask it. It said it.
Right. Because it's learning, and it's the same thing. You've been there. You've gone to a website, almost bought something, and then it follows you around.
Oh, I hate that.
That's retargeting. That was step one. Now we're at a point where, you talk about something. If you have Alexa in your home, step two, it's going to start showing you those items.
Some people will say, I don't want that. And then other people will say, what do you give me for that? Oh, I get a free service? Shit, I don't care. You can have it, right? And so that's the trade-off.
And then the third is getting rich off what they're learning from that.
Well, and I want to get a piece of what I'm giving them.
Yeah. Finally, people are starting to become aware that the behavioral data is valuable.
A lot of money.
And so think about the data in a city understanding who walks down what streets, what side, all that. And that's all smart cities. You hear the conversations about this, right? It's all happening.
Yeah. Sensors in the ground, all that stuff.
Yep.
Where do you stop? If I live in Miami, we're still trying to figure out how to fix the light poles.
Well, so I am familiar with the city. I think I mentioned that did a request for proposal to have a company come in and analyze all of the income the city makes from all of the different neighborhoods, all of the expenditures made by the police force and the fire department, and determine natural market areas and determine which part of the cities were a drag on the city and which part of the cities were providing, resource to the rest of the city.
Here you can tell it by just looking at the buildings. It's really easy to figure out. And the people behind me pay for everything.
Well, look, MIT's got a whole program dedicated to this type of zoning.
Yeah, well, it's easy to figure out. But see, you want to put it in a form an insurance company would buy. It would say,
where we go.
Yeah, he's freezing up. But the point is that he's absolutely right. You have to have the data. You have to think about who's buying it. Remember, I always say it's all about you. So the person that has the data that's selling has to sell a data set that's crafted in a way that somebody wants to buy it. Is that what you're saying, Saul? Saul? I love him. That's what you were saying, right?
Yep.
Andreas, roll.
Absolutely. And those people make money doing that.
Back to the original point, knowing where your data is from and what's important to you. Each person on this call, Jim, finance, brokerage, development, associations, different data is important.
Futurist.
Pulling it in one place.
Oh, I'm going to add that to my LinkedIn post thing. Futurist.
I know a few of those guys, self-proclaimed, but it's taking what you know is proven and valuable and then applying it, and when applicable, adding processing power. That's all. That's
also integration. You have to be able to integrate it. Like, you got to take the data, be able to export it into Excel, sort it the right way. Maybe it's not Excel. Maybe it's something else you got to export it into to get a better sort on it.
Well, or you use CRECo and we'll just pull it in and give it to you. But yeah.
That's my point. That's a softball. What are you giving me? What data are you pulling in and giving me to make decisions?
Ownership data, sales data, whatever data you're collecting from whatever service, putting it into a single screen instead of forcing you to task across 12, going to 12 different platforms.
So we're talking about things that you do to make your hot map, to show me where it's hot.
Zoning due diligence, economic growth.
Should be in absolute lightning because the thing behind me is the hottest market in the planet right now.
That's right. It's letting you know what, when, and where, things you don't know that will make you smarter and better at your job.
in a way that I can use it. If you send that to me and I can't use it or it's intimidating, it's worthless.
Unlimited support. Not to mention, it's straightforward.
Listen, let's talk about what the data tells me about CRECo.ai. Let's call a spade, okay?
Go ahead.
What the data tells me about CRECo.ai is that it helps me to market myself, project myself to the world, and to have my brand seen in a way that is efficient for me, number one. Then the next thing it does for me is it takes the data of the people that are on it and processes it in a way so that I can see efficiently who on the platform can help me make better decisions and then I can make money with. Have I missed anything?
Spot on.
Okay.
Number 3.
Okay, you tell me number 3.
Number 3, looking at an area at a property level. At the property level, you can start to understand what's happening economically, what's happening with zoning. To your point, how many Chewy bars are being sold? As soon as they make that technology, it all gets piped into a dashboard that is servicing the right data at the right time based on industry learning, machine learning, and predictive analytics.
The technology's there, but it's on the Amazon thing, whatever they call their thing.
Well, Netflix accounts for 18% of worldwide traffic. Did you know there are 3,600 different instances of Netflix? That every thumbnail you might see is different than what I see because it has learned what is going to appeal to me, what's important to me. And that's where all these technologies are going.
Boy, am I
we
glad
don't want you to do. We want to give it to you. Just like your phone said, hey, I know where you're going. Freaks you out. But it was convenient for most people.
If the number of Chewies becomes valuable to people, then the Chewy development company will create APIs, right?
Yeah.
That have that, and you'll be able to tie it into your platform and know just an added piece of how many Chewies in this neighborhood on what day, and it'll tie right in because this data is going everywhere.
That's
right.
The key
it's very ubiquitous. I work very hard to protect myself from that. I opt out of everything.
But you're still going
to start to protect, because you want a personalized experience.
Right.
I bet you when you go to the grocery store, Jim, and they ask you, do you put in your phone number and get a discount? You've probably been doing that for 30 years. You put in your phone number and they give you a discount. They know when you buy orange juice, what day you buy orange juice,
how quickly you consume orange juice, because they take that data.
They know everything they need to know about me, which is that I don't go in there. I send somebody.
Look, you're talking about anonymized data, right? You say no, you don't want that experience. But I'll take it further. Just because you say no, your phone at home connects to your Wi-Fi for every night, all day. So pre-COVID, the system could still tell what your home is because you spend the most time there. So there's in the background data being driven and analysis being done, even if you say no to everything.
Well,
assuming you have a phone, it's happening.
Look, I don't own one of those pouches that you can put your phone in yet, but I'll get one.
You have a pocket.
I already have. Where is it? On my wallet, I already have the thing where you can't scan it.
Yeah,
I have that. I've got that for years.
Yeah. No, it's incredible when you look at the amount of people are just realizing. Well, 2 years ago, Saul, you and I talked about it. New York Times did that article about human capital and how they were analyzing us. The world is analyzing us. We exist now in this digital format. And because of that, they know when we want to buy a car, when we're thinking about buying a car, when to deliver those ads.
So a couple
people gave it away.
Profiles, right?
Yeah.
Well, we all have lots of profiles residing in lots of different places. Mm-hmm. And then we have identities. Mm-hmm. Right, an identity, and his identity is like your name, when you were born, what city you live in, what are you a member of the United Club, are you right? All these different things go into the construct of somebody's identity, and believe it or not, that becomes important for somebody at some point, right? All the people.
The reality is that's the way they're going to do credit reports. They're going to do the credit report off your social. Having this credit report that's based on your history of paying and your capacity to pay. Oh, that's all bullshit.
Well,
all right. Well, since I violated my own rules, I'm going to put myself in the penalty box, and we'll be right back with more great information on how to protect and use your own data and how people are exploiting you right after this. everybody. Remember, this is South Florida's longest running business talk show, and our sponsors, Warren Henry, have been with us since 2008. We love them. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Warren. Thank you, all of our friends at Warren Henry. When you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, Jaguar. They've got them all at their store on 151st and Biscayne. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audis. Down in the Keys, they sell all their great nameplates. What do they all have in common? Well, they all come with the Warren Henry advantage. That means you get complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, gear replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, 72-hour exchange. It takes 3 days to decide whether you like your Warren Henry car. Now join me, my mom, and my beautiful wife, Vivian. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry.
This is Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
All right, and give me a call after you call Becca. 305-773-6300 is my number. Why call me? Because when you call me, it's all about you. I help families address their real estate problems. I help individual investors capitalize their deal efficiently. Right now, one of my clients is referring me to another client that I'm texting on WhatsApp that's out of the country. They want to buy a commercial property, but they have problems with their taxes. So give me a call at 305-773-6300. I specialize in getting the complicated done for people. So why do you call me? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're back here with Saul Klein, broker emeritus, with lots of dots after that. Then we've got Andre Senni here. He's my technology integration expert. And of course, you've got Reagan Mendoza piloting the ship. I want to talk about something that's, a term that we hear a lot, but we don't all really understand, and that's life scores. Andres, take it away.
So to our points earlier about this data and this scoring, your point, Jim, what is the future of credit scoring? Well, some say, and in practice in other countries, is life score. It is a cumulative score of where you visit, what you do, what your kids do, ranking you. And the higher your score, the more you can borrow, or you can go in and rent a car. And this is over in China and others where this is becoming prevalent because they're monitoring everything you do. So you get this cumulative life score. That is the future of credit scores. It's a little harder here.
A face mask for the rest of my life then.
Yeah, walk into a building without your face mask on. Get docked a few points.
No. I'm talking about the mask from the guy that with the nose, with the mustache. That I'm done. I'm done. I just want to be me. Everybody, I want to keep myself personally private. I don't want a customized experience. I'm done with that. I want to live in 1970. I'm moving to Vero.
Well, yeah.
So this is a good book. It's about 3 years old by Rachel Boatsman, and it's Who Can You Trust?
That's right. That's actually where that's where I first heard about it.
It talks about Belt and Road and China, credit scoring.
Andres, talk a little bit about that book, because we got self-pixelating again.
Who can you trust? It's an incredible read. I mean, they go into how Uber became a giant, and why people in and of themselves stopped to trust institutions and started to go to those silos of networks to find out news.
Because they feel more comfortable.
Well, they're relating, and that's what's dangerous about silos of data. You can go down a path of bad influence. You need to be open to form and open to new things and be guided in some senses. But that book, Uber as an example, they had a massacre, a killer running around on Uber. I think his name was Anthony, I'm not sure. And people would hear about it in the news. And they just kept booking rides with this driver who may be a mass murderer. They didn't care. It didn't compute. And since then, a lot of improvements, of course, been made. But the AI there and the technology wasn't at a point where it pulled that driver off and figured out what happened. So everything is learning and grown, I guess.
What I want to do, I want to go back, because we're only got a couple minutes left now, and I want to talk to Saul about the most important thing that he mentioned at the beginning, which was self-discipline. Saul, how does self-discipline help people in this information overload age? Because maybe people have tuned in since the beginning when you started talking about it, and I want you to amplify the concept, please.
Well, so along with self-discipline in this regard, I think goes routine, and doing the same sorts of things with regard to the way you handle the information is critical to being able to handle it efficiently. And self-discipline, how do you teach people self-discipline? That's a tough one, right? It has to be something that is valuable or important enough to them that it has a high priority in the multitude of things they have to do during the day. So it gets back to all goal setting. It has to do with values and what's important to you. And know that this information can hurt you today.
Listen. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I say, and so know that it doesn't hurt to shut it down every once in a while. And in certain subjects, it does take discipline. You're never going to change anybody's mind to just turn it off and leave it off. And as we discussed earlier, with some people, there's certain things you don't even discuss, but you know what? That doesn't matter. I said, we went into battle together with people where we never discussed certain things, but we sure stood up for one another and we sure worked hard. And so the fact that you don't discuss things with certain people doesn't mean that you can't be close to them.
I think that the most important thing, Saul, is what I like to call value system alignment.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that you touched on it, but to me, the most important thing is value system alignment. And where is your base value set? I want to be a kind, open, transparent, caring person that helps other people solve their problems, and that makes me feel good. I'm easy.
There's congruency there, right? And so if you're looking at things that aren't congruent with you, you ought to delete it, move away from it, go back and look at it later. That takes self-discipline.
I'm a hemp farmer.
I know. Isn't that great?
Oh, I can't wait.
And you know the rules. See, and other people don't know the rules. That makes you very distinctive and differentiated, and you get the business there because you got the data, you got the information that other people don't have.
You're so right. I want to give Andres the last swing at the ball here. Andres, we've talked a lot about data. We talked about information. I want to talk about how CRECo.ai turns data into information, how other people can use. We can use me as an example. We've been tracking my social now for quite some time. I think that it would make sense for me, you, and Reagan and Becca to get on the phone and talk about what works and what doesn't, and when to do things and when not to. I think now we have a good set of data to understand that. What do you think?
We do, and it's about actionable insights above and beyond data and knowledge and gleaming insights. It's what can I do with that to do better? And that's what the system does for me, especially on the social side. Or my social connectivity engine promotes you while you sleep, Jim, and we know what works, and we can look at your other posts. This is all data that's being examined automatically, my CTO would say, for you and presented to you in a way you can understand. This was the top ranking post. This is what you should focus on as a topic, because that's what people are
I'm naturally looking at that, and I naturally do it. This week I posted a Jib Jab, which came in second. The Jib Jab broke 2,000 as of this morning. I haven't checked since then. And then the one that was the biggest was the 600th radio show, I think, was the biggest. And that was breaking 3,000.
So, celebratory posts.
When you look at most people get 5 or 10.
Yeah. So it's your celebration. You're celebrating milestones. That's what people are interested in seeing. Now you know that. So how do you...
Or when they're having fun. When they're having fun, something that's unusual, or something that makes them feel good. The other top ones are the posts with the little firemen and stuff.
Well, look, on Facebook, we know from our real estate brokers that when they talk about their team and it's a person being portrayed in what they do, that resonates. On Facebook, people want to know more. On LinkedIn, they want to know about the deal. What is the deal? What can it do for me? How does it work? On Google My Business, it's about getting up there and growing your ranking, reviews. All of this is stuff that you may not know originally, but we're going to tell you, bring you there. That's the short answers. Getting you to actionable insights.
You'll text me later today and let's set up a meeting to go to phase 2 and let's get it with Becca and Reagan, because I think that as they learn how to do it with me, it makes them more valuable with the other people that they work with as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Saul, I want to thank you for being on today. You want to have a last day there?
Well, I would just say it's my pleasure. Always a pleasure to talk to you guys. And if you've got a hold of Phil again, give me a call.
We'll get a hold of Olivia. Andres will put this together again. And next month, we'll do it again with Olivia, where I think it'll be even more useful. But I think that today we learned a whole lot of great stuff. The most important of which is to have data. Have discipline when you're reviewing data and to not go down the rabbit hole that the data may send you, because it may send you sometimes down the wrong place. And there's lots of examples of that we don't have to go into today. I want to thank our guest, Saul Klein, broker emeritus, ... I want to thank Andre Seni, broker with less emeritus, but really a great social media and real estate technology integrator and a thought leader. I want to give a shout out to the first responders, healthcare heroes, all the people that make the world great. Of course, CRECo.ai, Carlson Integrated, Warren Henry Automotive. And I want to thank all of our viewers and listeners. Without them, we wouldn't have a show. Thank you for all the referrals you give me. I love you all. Please go to our Facebook show, our Facebook page, and all the other stuff, and like our show, pass it around, join our community, give us feedback and comments. I can go through it: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch. My God. If you missed today's show, it'll be up on our webpage, freedombusiness.com, probably today. This is Jim Freed for Freed on Business. Watch us next Wednesday at noon right here on all the social media channels. We're going to have a tremendous show. It'll be another episode of Freed on Weed. I'll have Manny Johnson. I'll have Dr. Bleiweiss. We'll talk about what we're doing. And I might even have another special guest. So stick with us. It's going to be a tremendous show about hemp. Very green, very positive, and very sustainable. So remember, oh my God, I'm living this. The person who wants to do something finds a way. The other finds an excuse. Now go out there, make it happen. You know I'm doing that. I live and breathe that.